Up Dog Sports Talk. My name is Matt Miller, and joining me today is the co-host, as always, Justin McGovern.
What is up? It is, there is a little bit of a chill in the air. The winds of change are rolling in. The leaves are changing color and starting to fall. It is getting colder. And you know what that means.
Bowl season.
Time for weeknight MACtion.
yeah. The Sun Belt had a good game last night. Also,
Yeah,
weeknight Sun Belt
yeah,
games are pretty dope. Um, but MACtion, nothing better than placing a random bet on a random Mac game because no matter if they're undefeated, no matter if they're winless, you never know what you're gonna get on a Wednesday night.
absolutely. This league always produces the most entertaining football. And tonight we are here to tell you, help you get to know all of these teams. The players you should know on them, what what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and what really, when you're going through Maction, like you want to pick your Maction fighter, and maybe tonight we can help you pick that team.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. It's almost as if the Mac throw up on us. So, um, yeah, we're excited. The intern could not join us today, but he would have been decked out in Miami gear. We already kind of know that one. Um, but yeah, Justin, kick us off here.
Yeah, sorry, Miami. You would have had representation from the intern, but just know that in his heart you were represented. So yeah, we'll just go in alphabetical order here through each team in the MAC. You could certainly look at the conference standings, but let's face it, during this last month stretch here, you're going to see these standings flip around a lot. So we start with the Akron Zips. Akron is serving a bowl ban this year due to not reaching certain APR scores. And the other unique thing about Akron, this team does not have a true bye week. We are currently in the midst of their longest run without a game, which is 10 days. But obviously, while they don't play this weekend, they play on Tuesday. So there's no true bye week. And then because of their bowl ban, their season just straight up ends on November 18th, way earlier than anybody else.
Yeah. It's also not a good sign that they've been outscored by like 100 points so far.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that was even the first two games. But at the same time, like Akron's actually very quietly doing a good job playing spoiler. They have some pretty good upset wins. They've upset Central Michigan, and just this past weekend they upset Buffalo as well. So very much playing that team with a bowl ban, but you don't overlook these guys because they will mess up your MAC title hopes, and that's what they have done so far. Their quarterback Ben Finley is an experienced guy, but he's been a little bit on and off this year. Their running back Jordan Gant, though, he is a star. Definitely well worth your time to check him out and see him play some football because he's definitely a fun player to watch. This Akron team, again, like this is your MACtion spoiler here. They got nothing to play for. We'll see if they tire out or if they just create havoc.
Yeah, I really like how you just never know what you're going to get from any team. And I personally thought that Akron was going to have a max of 2 or 3 wins. And they already have more than what I thought they would get.
And we got a comment here, Go Yukon. Hey, you got to pick your MACtion fighter here. Who's your MACtion team? um, while we wait to see if we get a comment back on that one, we go to Ball State. Now this Ball State team, they are a wild football team. They are currently 3-5 on the year, but this is a team that is significantly different at home versus on the road. They're 3-0 at home this year, 0-5 on the road. They have impressive home wins. Like they even beat the Ohio Bobcats at home, and they have been just absolutely ugly on the road. Um, so this is just like your crazy team, and I think it's a good accomplishment. They have a first year head coach, and I think Mike Uranovich is doing a good job at the very least making Muncie a nightmare place for contenders to go once again.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on that field and it's pretty awesome. Um, that like playing in Muncie, like they have great fans. I mean, there's nothing really else to do in Muncie, but they have great fans. It's just they're waiting for this team to do more than just at home. Um, but I mean, I like the direction of the program. It's just it's not their year. Crazier things
Yeah,
have happened, I guess, but
I think the big thing is for them, they're fighting for that bowl bid. And with only 2 home games left, Ball State will absolutely need to steal a road game somewhere along the line in order to reach a bowl game.
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see because again, this is 2 different football teams that you see play.
Yeah. We can move on to the team that threw up on me. The Bowling Green State Falcons, probably one of the most talked about teams in the MAC right now because of their head coach, Eddie George. This team started off kind of low, bounced back, bounced back, and then had a huge statement win over Toledo, where they were down by 3 touchdowns. Looked like they were going to be able to repeat that the next week, and it did not happen. And they kind of been on a little bit of a losing streak as of late. Um, Justin, you got anything else to add to the Falcons?
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were kind of trying to scrape by a little bit with a struggling offense, and then I think it's just kind of cratered a little bit.
Yeah.
You are now seeing the offense just struggle even more. At one point last week, they're down to their 4th string quarterback, and actually, it looks like they may end up starting their 4th string quarterback this week. But even then, like even when you're down to a 4th string quarterback, I mean, there's just it was a complete collapse last week, losing a 21-0 lead to lose to Kent State.
Yeah, I mean, losing to Kent State just hurts. Can't read, can't write, can't remember what I did last night, Kent State.
Man, that would smooth off the tongue too. You probably haven't said that in a decade, and there you were, just ready to go.
It just rattles
Um,
off, man.
but yeah, so I their defense is playing well. Special teams are generally like they have a good kicker, but their kickoff returns are kind of fallen down a little bit. They were very strong in that department early in the year, getting a little bit worse now. Need to figure out if the punter is hurt or has the yips because he was excellent the first, I think, 3 games of the year, and then actually maybe 4. I'm trying to remember if the Liberty game was before the Louisville game or
He
not.
he shanked quite a few recently.
Yeah, yeah, and like again, like the first 3 or 4 games, like he was an excellent punter, and all of a sudden things have kind of fallen off a little bit. So this is a team that really needs to kind of figure themselves out. Obviously, going to be a team that people are going to tune in to watch because you've got Eddie George, you got Pudge the Cat, you have all of that going for this team. Just kind of need to see them be able to turn it around on the field. This is probably the toughest point we've seen for the Eddie George era.
Yeah.
We move to the Buffalo Bulls. This has been a very strange team. Came in with very high expectations. A lot of people thought, us included, that this would be a team that would be very strong running the ball. Thought they could improve stopping the run, and we have not seen those things pan out this year. They are struggling to run the ball altogether, which now puts more pressure on the quarterback, which is a position that wasn't expected to be a position of strength for them. It was not supposed to be all in the passing game, but now it is because there's just no room to run up front. And teams are able to run the ball on them. So all of a sudden, you're looking at teams battling a little bit more than they should be. In non-conference, they let 2 games they should have won slip away against Troy and against UConn when they lost those and last one with field goals. And then they kind of, for a little bit, flipped the script in MAC play where they kept winning close games until this past weekend against Akron, where it kind of finally came to roost for them a little bit in a loss to Akron. And now you kind of look at that position they're in, getting to a tougher part of the schedule. What are the Bulls going to do moving forward? They're going to be able to get back to playing. Are they going to be able to play a little bit better football, or are we going to see this team go on a skid?
Well, and all 3 of those losses were at home.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah,
brutal
that too.
losses at home.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to lose your home games. Those are the most precious currency in this tight race, and letting one of those slip away is a tough break. But that being said, this is still a fun team to watch. They have one of the most electric receivers in college football in Victor Snow, and definitely one of the best linebackers in college football, Red Murdoch. I believe he just tied Khalil Mack's career record for fumbles forced. So watch for him to try to break that here soon.
Yeah, and they were supposed to have like a mean defense, and they've played well, but we actually thought they were going to play a little bit better than what they've shown. Like to the point where we had them like the closest team in the MAC to get any votes to get into the college football playoff. Like that's how much we liked their defense, and it's been a MAC defense.
Yeah, yeah. Again, like you've got a few good players, but I think the rest of the team is kind of just struggling a little bit to get going.
Yeah.
Um, we move on to Central Michigan, the Chippewas. This team hired a new head coach, Matt Drinkall, and he wasted no time bringing in the identity that he wants to do. This is a team that just wants to pound the rock, outmuscle you, run the ball, and definitely take care of the ball as well. They really flipped the script big time when it comes to turnovers. They're now one of the best teams in turnover margin this year, where last year they were absolutely dreadful. 135th in the nation at a minus 24 turnover margin. I believe this year they're now plus 5. So you've shifted nearly 30 turnovers just this year. That's an impressive feat. So you can see where his identity is already taking shape, and that has made the Chippewas a very competitive team in this conference.
Well,
They
when
have
you
the
look
random.
at them, when you look at them, they lost to Pitt and Michigan, which you'd kind of expect Central Michigan to lose to those teams. And then they beat San Jose State, they beat Wagner, they beat Eastern Michigan, they beat Bowling Green and UMass. But there's one glaring thing on their schedule so far, and that's that loss to Akron. Akron playing spoiler again. Um, they keep popping up in these. It's weird, but like this Central Michigan team is very different than last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun to watch because like they have all these tough tough like built running backs, and you just don't know which one they're going to hit you with on a given week. I think at least like 3 or 4 different backs have led the team in rushing in a game. It is really impressive what Matt Drinkall has done in a very short period of time here.
Well, guess what, Justin? We don't have to travel far for the next team.
Yeah, we stay up in Michigan, up in the Midland State, the Eastern Michigan Eagles. This team is kind of interesting because I feel like for a long time during Weeknight MACtion, what you were used to seeing was a team that kind of struggled to find offensive talent, but when it came to one score games, like they knew how to take care of the ball, they played tough defense, and those are their ways of finding ways to win. This team is the literal opposite. They're struggling defensively, struggling with turnovers, but they have some really fun talented players on here. Quarterback Noah Kim has been electric. Again, needs to take a little bit better care of the ball, but he's been able to sling it all around. Dante McMillan, their running back, is really, really good. He's definitely one of the stars of the conference. Um, but again, like this is a team that really feels like they've had the potential to win more. Probably one of the better 2-7 teams out there, but just can't get the stops or inopportune turnovers that cost them some games.
A lot of close games. So it's a finishing issue. But they still have the coolest turf in the MAC.
Oh yeah, the gray turf. Definitely make sure you watch the game when they're on there because it definitely plays tricks on you. You think you're watching the game from back in the black and white television era.
Well, I guess it's a good time to look at the Kent read, Kent write, can't remember what I did last night, Kent State.
Yeah, so Kent State is actually looking like one of the more improved teams in the MAC.
Well, I mean, all they
When
needed was one win to improve.
that is true, but they did do even better because they have three now.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone realized like that this team is getting better just because they had like the week 1 win over an FCS team, Merrimack, and then they went into that grind of a schedule. Not only did they deal with that tough schedule, but they also packed it in for that schedule. Like they actually intentionally benched their quarterback against Oklahoma just to keep him healthy for conference play. It was a wild move, but one where you have an interim coach, Mark Harney, who has nothing to lose. But he's like, you know what? I mean, we're still building. We don't have a chance in this game against Oklahoma. Why risk my quarterback getting hurt? Get him healthy and ready for MAC play, and it paid off. They won 2 MAC games already. They have an electric factory in Da Realist Clark.
Hmm.
Um, he's someone they need to utilize more, but he's a wide receiver, does not have a receiving touchdown, but he does have 2 kickoff return touchdowns and a passing touchdown. So he's someone that I think they're going to get involved more. This is a very weird offense. Very weird offense. They hit big plays. They do a good job hitting big plays. And they'll have like a few good drives in a given game. And if they go on a good drive, they'll usually score. But the problem is their good drives are very few and far between.
And they're ranked terribly, statistic wise. Passing they're 113th, rushing they're 132nd, points for 124th, points against 130th. So statistically they're not great, but they keep winning ball games. And the one thing that kind of sticks out to me is they have a kind of a winnable stretch coming up. I mean, Ball State, good team, winnable. But it's at Ball State, so Ball State is.
Ooh, Aldo, that's the good version of Ball State.
their bitter rival Akron. So if there's one game that was circled on this calendar, on their calendar, it was this game. And
yeah, for sure.
Probably...
And I want to gloss past that real quick because, I mean, for the interim coach Mark Carney, like you beat Akron in the battle for the wagon wheel, you're all of a sudden in a much better position. I mean, even if that's the only game you win, you finish 4-8 in a year where you're coming off 0 wins, no expectations. You're looking in a much better position to make an argument for a full-time job. Sorry, continue your role.
Oh, I was just going to say they're probably going to lose to Central Michigan, and Northern Illinois is a toss-up. We'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, they're very weird team just because, again, like they really only go on productive drives 2 to 3 times a game where they go anywhere, and then when they do, they usually score. But the problem is they're going 3 and out a lot.
Yeah. Moving on to a little bit closer to home.
Very close to home.
Redhawks. I think they've been one of the most consistent teams in the MAC. And I think it all comes down to Chuck Martin. I mean, not just him having success, but him having success and staying there. I think MAC gets a bad rep for when they get a really good coach, they move on pretty quick. And Chuck Martin, I don't know if he like loses some games on purpose so he doesn't get too many offers or what, but I think he puts Miami in a position every year to be right there to win the MAC, and it's cool to see.
Yeah, I love the steadiness of it. And I mean, it was a progressive build for him. Like there, he had some bowl seasons early on. It kind of took a little bit of time to get going overall, but then you just kind of saw it continue to build. They started making bowls every single year, then started entering MAC title contention, and now he's gotten this thing into a well-oiled machine where they're in MAC title contention every single year. Um, I think sometimes fans get a little bit annoyed because I mean, like you had games against Big Ten teams that weren't good in Wisconsin, Rutgers. Maybe do a little bit more to try to, have a shot to beat them. Those were ugly performances, but in the end, ultimately, it's all about winning the MAC. And what Chuck Martin does is his teams bring their best when it matters the most, which is in conference play. This is absolutely once again one of the top teams with a chance to win the conference. DeQuan Finn, he's been there and done that in this conference. He is playing at a high level. This team runs the ball really well, and obviously Finn's mobility helps open up that run game a little bit. And of course, this is a Chuck Martin team. They play tough defense as well.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the favorites every year, and if they would have kept that kicker that went to Alabama, I think they could have made some noise last year as well too. Um, but
Actually, guess what though? I don't know how they do it, but they just turn out good kickers because their new kicker, the kicker they ended up playing after the one they lost to Alabama, he drilled a 56-yarder just casually last week.
hmm.
So they apparently grow kickers on trees up the road in Oxford.
And now to Northern Illinois. We touched on them very, very briefly, but we wanted to save this point. Um, Record wise, not great. They offensively, they kind of took a little bit to get going, and the pass game just still isn't really going. The formula to success for Northern Illinois is how they beat Notre Dame last year. It's slow, methodical drives down the field, taking a ton of time off the clock. And that's the new brand of Northern Illinois football.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the formula they play. It's struggling a little bit just because I mean this is the worst one of the worst passing attacks in college football and one of the worst in the MAC. So that it makes offense really tough for Northern Illinois. But again, like one of the things that you saw against Ball State and what looks promising for them moving forward is the fact that they are now running the ball a lot better. That is giving them a method to help move the ball a little bit. And maybe they can scrape their way back to a bowl game, but it's definitely an interesting ride because, of course, everyone they're playing, it has them circled on the calendar. They do not take it lightly that Northern Illinois is leaving the MAC, and they want to send them home with a loss.
Yeah. But time for one of the best teams in the MAC, the Ohio Bobcats. Very slept on. I think in terms of college football in general, they're not talked
Yeah,
about quite enough. I mean, they did take a killer loss to Ball State, but Ball State turns into an NFL team when they play at home in Muncie. Um, this team has a really good offense, and they're led by one of the most electric quarterbacks in college football, Parker Navarro. And the one thing I think will be the difference in the schedule going forward is Parker Navarro. They got a rough
absolutely.
stretch coming up. They got Miami, they got Western Michigan, and they got Buffalo. You throw in UMass in there for what normally seems like a easy win, but it's the MAC. Anything can happen. Again, it's the MAC. Anything can happen. So when we're looking at the schedule and saying Parker Navarro is like a straight up G and can get them through this schedule and they can win 4 games to go 9-3, the MAC happens. And then randomly, this team could be looking at like 6-6.
I don't think it's going to go quite that far, but no, this is Parker Navarro is someone that you need to make sure you watch if you haven't already, or if you have watch him again because he is a lot of fun to see. He's definitely the star of the MAC right now. One of those quarterbacks that's going to be remembered as the MAC legend for a long time. And again, like this is a team that's a really good story because last year they won the MAC title for the first time since 1968. Now they're looking to repeat. And again, like that battle of the bricks against Miami is going to be a huge game. That one needs to be circled on every fan's calendar because that one is a huge game. The one thing that Ohio needs to clean up a little bit is they're occasionally sloppy with turnovers or just kind of failing in scoring position. So they need to be able to get a little bit better at finishing their drives. They had a situation there the last game they played against Eastern Michigan where they they ended up winning by one score. They probably should have won by more, but they just could not finish the drives. Two costly picks in that one. So that's what you got to watch out for Ohio. But in general, like this is a really good ball club, and definitely just a lot of fun to watch. Next, we move to the Toledo Rockets. This is the most talented team in the MAC. They are absolutely loaded on defense. They have, I mean, a few guys in the defense that are likely going to the NFL at some point. They have a receiver in Junior Vander Ross, who is one of the best around. Um, but at the same time, I just cannot figure out why this team just can't be consistent. They have laid an egg in every other FBS game. I think last week I said that every other game they kept losing, but in all reality, there was like a stretch where they won a game and then they played the FCS team. Um, so actually, to correct myself from last week, they have laid an egg in every other FBS game.
Mm-hmm.
So they lose a game, then they destroy someone, and then they lose a game again, and then they destroy someone. That's been their pattern
And they
all
lose a
year. And
game, then
again,
they destroy someone, and then they lose a game. So Northern Illinois, you look to be the next victim. Yeah, I mean Toledo, they've been a consistently good program. Um, they, like you said, for whatever reason, they're not consistent. They need to do better. We saw that a little bit last year. It felt like they were an extremely watered down Louisville. It's hard to explain, but just watching the teams, it's you could see a little bit of a difference or a little bit of the similarities. Um, I mean Toledo, they got a couple games in here that they can win. They have Ball State at home. Maybe that's an easy win. But they have Miami and Central Michigan, so it's going to be a little bit of a rough stretch for them. And I mean, they're still in it,
yeah.
so they can
It, in,
theoretically to pull this thing out, but
in
consistency.
all reality, I mean, while it's been the other every other game thing, um, I would say also their problem has been playing in the road. They won big at home. This is another team that's having an issue playing on the road. So that'll be the other thing. Can we see the Rockets perform at a high level outside of the Glass Bowl? That'll be the key down the stretch.
Also, if you have the chance to go to a Toledo game, it's a lot of fun. We love Toledo.
Well, I would say just go to if you're near any of
Any
these
MAC team,
games,
really.
yeah, go to the game. I mean, it is very easy to do, very inexpensive, just a great family environment. It's a lot of fun. Um, we go to the Massachusetts Minutemen. UMass this is your lovable loser. Um, they have some great fan accounts. The cursive is obviously the first one that comes to mind.
Shout out.
These fans deserve to see their team win, and as long as it doesn't happen against BG, I am rooting for this team to finally get a win at some point this year because they deserve it, and it's just been a lot of heartbreaks for them. They've let a couple games slip away now. But definitely make sure you're there watching them or in the stands when this team finally gets their first win because it's going to be electric once it happens.
Yeah, and I've quietly rooted for UMass. Not like, yeah, UMass, just like, oh, cool, UMass. Um, One of the first teams I played as in NCAA 14 was UMass. And the only reason I did anything was because my quarterback was all my rushing yards and all my passing yards. And my outside of him, my running back would just fumble every time he ran into the back of an offensive lineman. Um, but I still got a little bit of love there. Hopefully they get a win in the next like game or two, so it's not all on BG to lose that game. But UMass, let's get a win.
Yeah, and yeah, UMass is one of the only MAC teams I have left that I need some sort of gear from. Them in Northern Illinois. So up until last week, neither one of
Well,
those teams
Northern
had a conference
Illinois
win.
after this season is no longer a MAC team.
Yeah, so UMass is the only active one. Come on, guys. Maybe send something over. Maybe some good karma will come your way. Maybe you get that win.
Well, moving on to quite possibly the most surprising team of MACtion is the Western Michigan Broncos. Their defense is so freaking good. This is actually kind of what we thought Buffalo's defense would look like.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a team that is a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. They lead the MAC and they're one of the top teams in college football in sacks this year with 28, I believe, is their total right now. So just a very tough defense. On the offensive side, they like to run the ball a lot. They have some good running backs. Um, they have a quarterback that's mobile and can kind of help complement that run game a little bit. But sometimes the offense can kind of be a little bit inconsistent. This is definitely one of your top MAC contenders. Obviously, they're just coming off a tough loss to Miami, where really all it took was one bad quarter, and that's why they lost that game. So this is a team that's they're literally right in the mix, and hopefully maybe they can make their way in that MAC championship because again, defense is one of those things that carries, especially when those wins and chains come in. You're looking at a cold November. Um, you're definitely not looking forward to getting hit by these guys.
Yeah, they hit hard and they never let up.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is your summary of every MAC team to this point. Take that information, pick your MACtion fighter, and get ready because it is going to be a very fun November of Weeknight MACtion.
I think it's time to talk about something near and dear to our hearts.
Oh yes, we're staying here the Rust Belt for this one. So if you didn't catch the episode last week, we mentioned that we were credentialed for Dayton versus Presbyterian this weekend, and it was just a lot of fun. Obviously, like a lot of the game recaps and stuff are on our Substack, so we won't do too much of the game itself, but just kind of the experience, Matt. What were some of your first thoughts from that?
Um, I think it was really cool because like I've been on that field before as a player way back in the day. Before they had all the cool gear and stuff. Like back when like the Revolution helmets were like just becoming a thing. But I played on that field, and this actually I think was a little bit more exciting than that. Um, yeah, getting credentialed. Shout out to Dayton. You guys did a great job, but um, like just the access that we had. Like obviously we're in our 30s, so we're not going to be like running onto the field or anything crazy like that. But like we try to stay out of the way, try to just observe, and man, that was something. I would definitely go
Take
back.
taking in some football from the sidelines. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll be back again next year. Unfortunately, we've conflicts during their last home game,
Yeah.
but yeah, it definitely was a lot of fun. Actually, I ended up looking back at like obviously the most funny part is like when Gavin Lockow went for that long touchdown run. Like when you go to the end there when he's running into the end zone, you just see us two doofuses standing there.
Yeah. Uh
um,
Good turnout by Dayton though.
yeah, like they actually have a pretty good crowd. Like for a program that really focuses more on basketball and football, like they had their stands nearly packed out. Like they were very much in this game. They knew how big of a game it was. And there was something about the Dean staff that like they felt this was a big game. Like we were right next to the players when we were before we were entering the field. We had wait for them to enter the field for warm-ups before we were there. And like this is like an hour before the game, and those guys were like already so hyped up for the game.
Yeah. They
Like
they
there was
they
just
ran out
something.
and they were doing their stretches and stuff, but like you could just feel it. Like they let us in through the gate, and it's the same gate that the players used to run onto the field. So we like let them all go first. And like they just all had like no fear. They were just ready for this game. Like number 17 who? Like it just seems like Dayton was really prepared and Presbyterian having to travel up to the cold, which it really wasn't that cold, but just traveling up here, I think, kind of took it out of them. Um, yeah, I mean, one thing that I didn't get to put in the Substack, and I think you alluded to it, was soon as Presbyterian's wide receiver went down, it seemed like their offense sputtered out. Um,
Yeah,
and like being there right kind of next to the action watching like he got hurt, so that kind of that sucked to see him get hurt, but we were like right there, like 3 quarters of the game all the action was like right in front of us. It was like it all followed us.
I know. Yeah, it felt like everything is like we spent like one quarter on one side, and we went to the exact opposite side of the stadium the next quarter, and like wherever we kept going, like we kept there was like a lot of like crazy interceptions in this game, and basically all of them happened in front of us. Of course, like the one interception that did not happen in front of us, it happened on the opposite side of the field, was a touchdown, but everything else just like was like right there. Like we kept seeing all these crazy interceptions, and obviously like special teams made an impact too. We saw a very wild punt play happen directly in front of us where the punter originally dropped the snap, collected it, and then just line drove the ball straight into the back of the Dayton player. It looked like they were to get away with it and recover it off of his back, and then Presbyterian retained possession, but um, Dayton ended up recovering that and got great field position, scored to take the lead, and really never looked back from that point.
Yeah, I mean, I there was a couple of things I probably would have done a little different. I probably would have brought like a notepad and pencil to take better notes. I'm old fashioned like that. Um, but I mean, like we actually have some guys that like follow us, and it would have been cool to get there a little bit earlier to try to seek them out or give them a heads up that we were going to be there and just be like, hey, like want to chat with you for a little bit, like pre-game. I mean, post-game, it was we had the chance post game, but I mean, after a loss, we didn't want to like bug any of the Presbyterian guys. We were just like, hey, like we'll catch them next time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, that was a tough loss for them. And now, puts them in a position where you're not sure if there's a path to the playoffs. Like, you're kind of hoping to win out and make that at large bid. But obviously, there's usually a committee, usually the committee has a feeling towards Pioneer League. Obviously, they're, outside of Presbyterian, the non conference record's not great. So it's kind of interesting to see how they end up treating that because Presbyterian, obviously, like, if Mercer wins out, or, I think Mercer has to play Auburn, so I guess they can lose that one. But if Mercer wins out, like, that's a huge quality win that you don't normally see from a Pioneer League team.
Yeah.
So you kind of wonder to see, like, what the respect would be. They're still ranked. I think they're like 24th now. So that's good news, at least. But we'll have to see what the situation is there because now you're in a position where Drake and Dayton and Butler like are all like very much in the thick of it, and Presbyterian's kind of hoping some of those dominoes fall a little bit.
Yeah. Um, maybe we'll be lucky and hit up a basketball game this winter. That'd be pretty cool. Um,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
we
for
can aim
sure.
high. Go to the
Yeah.
crosstown shootout.
Now that would be a huge one. Um, when is that? Did they?
It's
Because
like
I feel
December.
like
The dates are out there. It's like
yeah,
mid-December.
yeah. I feel like I remember it was in the middle of football season. That's kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, so very cool experience there. Obviously, was a very thrilling experience for the podcast, and definitely, we're glad to be able to bring a different view of some of these games that you don't normally get. I mean, like I know this for a fact that like most of the recaps of this, you have like the kind of one-sided recap from each of the official team sites, and then every other article is just like AI taking pieces of both and just flopping it together. That's basically what you usually get in terms of Pioneer League recaps. So glad to be able to put a better one out there.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
definitely,
uh, not like a ton of teams are close by to us in Pioneer League. I think that we can probably think of one more that would be good to join. But I mean, if we had the chance to go to more Pioneer games, we definitely would do it because there's a lot of solid play. I mean, this isn't the first Pioneer League game that we've even watched. Like we've watched a few of them, and there's some solid play in the Pioneer League for not having any scholarships. Like these guys are hungry, and I think a lot of them want scholarships. So they're going to play 10 times harder than some of the
yeah,
guys in
yeah.
G5.
And I mean that receiver for Dayton, Gavin Lockout, man, he is just a ridiculous athlete. Like
Yeah.
they just decide, okay, we're just going to use our best athlete every way possible, and good luck stopping it.
And feel free, as the viewer, to comment if you want us to pop into a game somewhere in the like Ohio Valley, Michigan, Western Pennsylvania, down to Tennessee, over to probably just like Western Kentucky or like Eastern Missouri on up. Let us know of some teams that we should check out. Or if you're affiliated with a program, DM us. We're interested. Uh,
I can already tell you, like during the past week, like I know some people from some UTRGV fans have been trying to get us to come down there.
I know I saw some of those
Tell
tweets and
the
tacos.
956 tacos, man.
You have me interested. You had me at tacos.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
I think now is a good time to talk a little bit about bowl game TBD. And for those of you who aren't aware of this, the Bahamas Bowl is no longer the Bahamas Bowl. Not just because like a hurricane just went through there, so hopefully all those people are good. But prior to all of that, the Bahamas Bowl pulled out of college football. So now we're
Well,
looking.
not the bowl. The bowl still exists.
The
It's
bowl
just
itself
not able to
existed.
be in the Bahamas.
Yeah, it's the location and the name are TBD. And here at Updog Sports Talk, we feel very passionately that it needs to be here in Cincinnati, the epicenter of college football. And it needs to be at TQL Stadium where the FC Cincinnati team plays. And the reason why is because it probably won't have a ton of use during that time, or they could try to figure something out. So we have a little bit of a plan. And Justin, before I give my picks, you said you collected some picks based on bowl game TBD.
Yes. So basically, we are going to be considered. This is going to be a segment that we're going to do. With basically, we are talking the Cincinnati Chili Bowl into existence. So we are doing this segment of Cincinnati Chili Bowl projections that we are going to do until they announce this Cincinnati Chili Bowl. We'll just keep doing this, or until they announce what bowl TBD is. So I have gathered bowl projections from all sorts of great websites, including some of our friends. So we have, from Redshirt Sports, our, friend of the show, Omar, also known as the Kornacki of Bowls. We have his bowl projections, Three Tech Pod, Brett McMurphy, PFSN, SI, College Ball News, Athlon, and CBS. So we can just go ahead and start with this. The Kornacki of Bowls, of course, has to lead us off. Omar has Utah State versus Coastal Carolina. Now that would be a lot of fun to have here
That
in
would be
Cincinnati.
sweet.
They are both very far away, so definitely would be kind of meeting in the middle a little bit. But I would
I
love
don't
to
think
see.
either has a direct flight here, but
No, there's got to be a direct flight between Cincinnati and Myrtle Beach. Cincinnatians love the vacation there.
they do. There's not,
So
but they do.
but yeah, that'll be a very fun matchup for sure. I don't think those two programs have played each other ever either. So good first time matchup. We continue with one of our friends here, the Three Tech Pod. They have our alum Bowling Green here in the Cincinnati Chili Bowl, taking on FIU, who is currently on our TVs, tied at 7 with Missouri State. So that would be a huge accomplishment for FIU, getting into a bowl game in their first year under Willie Simmons. Bowling Green, obviously, potentially down to their fourth-string quarterback due to injury, so reaching a bowl feels like an accomplishment. That would be, of course, a very fun one. And while we plan to be in attendance no matter who the teams are, we will definitely be excited to be there if Bowling Green's in it.
Yes.
Then we go to Brett McMurphy. He has Western Michigan versus Louisiana Tech. That one's kind of interesting. Like, I feel like that one's where you're kind of putting this bowl up a little bit higher in the projection a little bit. Like, Western Michigan, one of the better MAC teams. Louisiana Tech's kind of had a rough go of it as of late, but also played some of the top teams in the conference, but they're still one of the top teams in Conference USA. So that would be a very fun matchup for sure. Then we go to PFSN. They have Jack State versus Central Michigan. Again, two pretty high picks there. So you're giving the Cincinnati Chili Bowl some respect.
Yeah.
SI has Appalachian State versus Louisiana Tech. This is about to be a Sun Belt Conference game. So that'll definitely be a lot of fun. App State fans travel well, so it'll be fun to have a bunch of them here in Cincinnati. College football news: Kennesaw State for Central Michigan. Kennesaw State's first ever bowl game. That would be a lot of fun. And of course, obviously, love to see Central Michigan. Then Athlon and CBS both have the hometown team, the Miami Redhawks, taking on Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech is a very popular pick here. They showed up in this one a lot. But yeah, that would be definitely a lot of fun.
Who's your pick, Justin?
I like the idea of keeping Miami home. I feel like that sets up a pretty good advantage for them. And honestly, like I'm gonna read the tea leaves here, and say that Louisiana Tech as well, just because they showed up so many times.
I told you an answer pre-show, and I've actually changed it. Not much, but I've changed it.
Really?
I am going to propose a first ever meeting between
Mm.
the Toledo Rockets and the New Mexico State Aggies.
Oh, there we go.
I think that would be super dope. Um, I don't expect, like, if they make a Cincinnati Chili Bowl, I don't expect it to have a whole lot of clout coming in. I expect it to be probably one of the bottom barrel bowl games. Um, but I mean, I think it would be a wonderful time for everybody involved. I think Cincinnati in late December, early January, although cold, is still a fun time. And putting sweaty guys in Coney suits with Cincinnati chili drizzled all over it. I think, and having them run a race, I think that's not hazing. State of Ohio, that's not hazing. Um, I think, I think that would be like fun for everybody involved, and then like everybody gets uh like a little bit of taste of Cincinnati chili. I think it will kind of put Cincinnati chili on a map, and then who knows? Maybe we can throw in some Texas chili racers as well, and then show everybody that it's loosely based on a Greek stew instead of actual chili. But we are big fans of the Cincinnati Chili Bowl. Ever since this came across our timeline, we have not let it go, and we will never let it go. At some point, the Cincinnati Chili Bowl needs to be a thing, and I need to be the one calling the game. And I think that would be epic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we love bowl games and we would love to see a bowl game here in our hometown. And again, we do not have enough northern home bowl games. For the most part, teams have to go down south for bowls.
Or
Let's get
Northeast.
another one. Let's get another one up here.
Yeah, or Northeast, or in any of the domes around us.
Yeah.
I think now is a good time, Justin, to hop into our pick'ems.
Yes, absolutely. We are on to week 10. Hard to believe we're this far in the year. This is our pick'em series. We are picking games. All of us here at Updog are picking them. And we are doing a competition this year against CFB Home, Bobby of the TNT podcast, and Omar. How we do these pick'ems is we
We've
pick.
included our intern in this as well.
Yes. So we pick our game of the week, what we consider to be our game of the week from each of the conferences in college football, the FBS level, and then of course one FCS game as well. We typically look for the more under the radar games, more interesting storylines from that level that aren't being talked about by the larger networks. And of course, usually trying to look for those close spreads, just to make it a little bit challenging for us. Currently, we have Bobby of the TNT podcast one game ahead of the two of us. And then we are one game ahead of Omar, who is one game ahead of the intern. And then CFB Home, casing from six at the moment, trying to catch up to the rest of the pack.
At this point, I feel like CFB Home is just trying to throw some picks out there to be different, to see if they can just catch us off guard and win a couple. Um, they're excellent. They're an excellent show. So if you ever get the chance to check them out, definitely do it. Omar, come on, dude. We were supposed to be tied the whole time.
I like he has been like he usually makes a few different picks too, and like for the most part it's been really working for him. But then last week was kind of the week where it didn't work, and
Yeah.
that's why he chopped down a little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. We go to the American Conference. Um,
A massive
maybe
showdown. Massive showdown
Yeah.
for American implications, at least. Undefeated Navy versus
Yeah.
extremely hot North Texas.
Absolutely. And I mean, you're looking at some fun quarterback play here. Obviously, Blake Horvath is one of the stars of this conference. North Texas, Drew Messamaker coming off a 600-yard passing game. This is going to be a very huge game. This is noon, I believe, on ESPN2. So make sure you catch this one. Navy, maybe not 100% their traditional option offense. They kind of open up with some passing a little bit. Navy has not faced a tough schedule, but they're undefeated. North Texas obviously has some good wins. They had the one game against South Florida go wrong. You're looking at the winner definitely remaining in the hunt for the American and for a college football playoff bid. Who do you see winning this one?
Messamaker is a 0-star recruit. Eric Morris, the QB whisperer, who got Patrick Mahomes to go to Texas Tech, who got what's his name? Cam Ward to go to Incarnate Ward. Got Cam Ward again to go to Washington State. Got John Mateer to go to Washington State. Now, Eric Morris, the QB whisperer, strikes again, strikes gold with the most underrated prospect possibly of all time in college football. I got to go North Texas, dude. This team is just on fire. They're fun to watch. They just seem to be ready for everything thrown at them.
Yeah, I think the big key to me is this game is being played in the Denton Desert. I love that they played with that for such a long time. But yeah, this game is being played at North Texas. The other key is going to be, what do we see from Navy's defense? That's kind of been the big question mark for me. I'm a little bit worried about what Navy has in the defensive side, so I've got to go with North Texas as well. We move to the ACC. There's really only one reason why we're picking this game. Louisville, Virginia Tech. No. You know, these two teams have been in a conference together for over a decade now, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time Louisville will travel to Virginia Tech as conference foes.
Wow. That's a little surprising.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, we've been talking, there's obviously been a lot of talk about the whole Georgia still has not gone to Texas A&M. They've gone to Texas, but not Texas A&M still. But yeah, we've had the same problem in the ACC where Louisville and Virginia Tech has shared a conference for this long, and Louisville is yet to go to Lane Stadium until this Saturday. Can the Cards pull off a win, or will a suddenly plucky Virginia Tech be able to do it? By the way, again, do not forget, Cal went to Lane Stadium before Louisville did this ACC. My gosh.
Just to spread some rumors out there, it sounds like Virginia Tech is very interested in James Franklin. And that's a way for this program to just fail up. That being said, I think Louisville is just a better team.
I mean, like, honestly, like, you look at it, like, I did not expect to get to this, but James Franklin's not a bad move here for Virginia Tech.
That would be a fantastic move for them.
Like, he just couldn't overcome Ohio State and Michigan. In the ACC, you have your top team, your big name programs can't help but to get out of their own way. Florida State continues to struggle their way around. Miami, Mario Cristobal is basically almost the same as James Franklin. I would actually say that James Franklin is probably a more consistent coach than Mario Cristobal. So Mario Cristobal is the worst you got to go against. That's not bad. And of course, Clemson ran this conference for a long time, but we're kind of seeing them begin to trail off a little bit over there. So
your pick?
You have a power vacuum there. Great opportunity for James Franklin. But for this game, I got to go with Louisville. Hard to pick against the Cards here. This team's on the roll, looking for a college football playoff bid. Virginia Tech is just kind of Looking forward to the James Franklin era. We go to the Big 12. College game day is finally not ignoring this conference. Finally not going to an SEC destination. No, they are coming to Salt Lake City, Utah to see our hometown Cincinnati Bearcats take on Utah Utes for the first time ever. These two programs have never played. Very weird that they made this an after dark game, but college game day is there. So it's a very funny arrangement how that's going. But this is a massive Big 12 game.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would have been even bigger if Utah would have beat BYU. But I mean, Utah has a chance to make some noise, and Cincinnati has a chance to be like, "Yo, we're here. Accept us." Um, this is. I've been looking forward to this game. If I had time, whatever that is, probably would have looked at trying to go to this game. But Cincinnati is gonna pull off. At this point, I don't even think it's an upset. I think they're favored at this point. I think they're gonna pull it off.
There we go. So one of the most interesting things to me is just like what we look at here in the trenches. Both teams are very good up front. And it's going to be very fascinating. It's going to be a straight up war in there on the inside. Both offensive defensive lines just are so good. So I'm very excited to see that battle play out. You have a situation where both teams are used to overpowering teams. I'm not sure what Cincinnati looks like when they meet a match like that up front because they have not faced one yet. The game against Nebraska, Cincinnati outpowered them, but just took too long to realize it and spotted Nebraska a touchdown before halftime and lost that game. You have Utah, who did meet teams that can match them in trenches in Texas Tech and BYU and lost those games. Cincinnati is the team I'm rooting for here. I want to see the Bearcats win, continue seeing some strong football here. But this is at Utah. This is in Salt Lake City. UC has never dealt with the Muffs before. Sorry, but it's strictly business. I got to go with the Utes. And by the way, the intern so far has agreed with all of my picks. He, especially the Utes as well. We forgot about his picks. I'm sorry, intern. We go to the Big Ten. USC and Nebraska. Kind of a huge proving ground game for both of these teams. USC needs to show that they can continue to keep this going. Maybe continue to maintain some sort of outside shot at the Big Ten title or playoff. Nebraska just needs to show that they can beat anybody within this realm of the Big Ten that they want to get to. I mean, they simply need to show that they can beat someone near the top. Who do you think wins this one?
I got USC. I wanted to pick Nebraska. I just think they have Matt Rule year 3, great thing. I like it. They have improved. I just don't think they have improved as much. I think USC has all the tools. They were in it with Notre Dame for quite a while, and I think they could have taken down Notre Dame, but they couldn't stop the run. I do think that USC wins this game.
Yeah. USC, before the Notre Dame game, USC bullied Michigan in the trenches. So I think that's where the biggest issue is for Nebraska. I mean, this Nebraska team to be honest, they stink up front. The offensive line in particular is the big problem for Nebraska. They cannot, like you said, USC had a hard time stopping Notre Dame from running the ball. The problem is Nebraska can't run the ball. Nebraska can't run. They just can't. They cannot find any room up there. And that's putting all the pressure on Raiola. He doesn't even have a lot of time to throw. So, yeah, I have to go with the Trojans in this one. I just cannot trust this Nebraska team up front. And the intern, by the way, agrees. Again, he has USC as well.
He did not just copy Justin. There are some differences.
Yes. We'll be getting into some differences here in a moment. We go to Conference USA. Delaware and Liberty. I think this one's a huge one that kind of gives us a good shape of like where both these teams are. Liberty has kind of seemed to pick it up a little bit, but it was against UTEP and New Mexico State. So is Liberty going to remain a contender for Conference USA? And is Delaware going to continue their strong start? Well, to kind of answer that, who do you think wins?
I think Delaware continues their season number 1 heater in the FBS. Their offense is actually pretty potent. And at this point, they have played one more game than Liberty in Conference USA, but they have almost double the points. And I think that's going to be a telltale sign. I think Delaware's offense is going to be the difference in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what we see out of the Liberty offense because they have struggled up there for most of the year. That's been their weak spot. But I feel like we may have seen something near the end of that New Mexico State game where you notice that the offense just it felt like it looked more smooth in a no huddle, fast paced offense. Maybe we start to see Liberty start to use that. I decided to pick against the green here and go with the Flames in this one, in a close one, over the Blue Hens. The intern does disagree. He has Delaware winning this one.
Yeah, now he's copying me.
So we have a couple last Saturday MACtion games here. One of our picks is going to be a great rivalry game. Central Michigan at Western Michigan. We obviously talked about the MAC in depth earlier, but these two teams much improved this year. And now you've got a rivalry that has a lot more heft to it. This is going to be a huge game for both teams. This one's at 4 o'clock at ESPNU. Make sure you catch it. Who do you think wins this one?
Man, this is an epic MAC matchup. I mean, you have a solid Central Michigan offense. They're pretty good on defense too. But the Western Michigan defense is just so good. They've only given up 42 points in MAC play in 4 games. It's ridiculous. I got the Broncos on this one. I think defense wins championships and defense wins MAC games.
Man, this is just Rust Belt football at its finest here. These are two hard-nosed, gritty teams that are going at it. You're going to be hearing the pads popping through the TV during this one. I like this game is at Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. So I think you get that home field edge a little bit for Western Michigan. They've been very good at home this year. So give me the Broncos in this one. The intern agrees, by the way. He's got Western Michigan as well. Again, this is a critical match.
Come on, intern. Copy me.
No, we both had Western Michigan, so he did copy us.
I know.
But yeah, this is a huge matchup in the MAC, obviously. The winner feels good about their hopes for contending for the title. The loser needs a lot of help. We go to the Mountain West, another great classic between service academies. This is at noon on CBS. Army and Air Force, this is a critical game for both teams to reach a bowl game. Army's offense has looked a lot smoother under Helms at quarterback, while Air Force has one of the most electric quarterbacks in flight suit, Josh Allen, Liam Cesarka. Man, I cannot say his name right, and it annoys me.
Killing me.
They have an incredible offense. The one thing of Air Force has been their defense provides very little resistance. Who do you think wins this one?
Well, their defense has given up almost 300 points this season. So I'm going to go with Army.
Oh, man. Parker at Stats of War released like this chart of like defenses. And while most people were focusing on the really good ones, I saw Air Force way up in the corner where they were both ridiculously bad at third down stops and ridiculously bad at forcing 3rd and 1s. Like they were the far top of being bad in both categories. It is kind of shocking to see Air Force be this bad defensively. This is at home for them, but I trust Army a little bit more here. I think Army gets it done. The intern disagrees with both of us. He's got Air Force.
Whoa.
Actually, you know what? Hang on. I think he actually texted us his thoughts. Let's see. I want to get his thoughts on this one. I know we did not read them for the other
He gave
ones,
us like
but
an entire breakdown of everything, and we like did not cover anything that he said. So intern, yeah, my bad.
he just said that they've been the air raid Air Force.
They've been forced air.
Well, we go to the Pac-12 for
Pac-2.
the Pac-12 championship round 1. This one is in Corvallis, Oregon. It's Washington State takes on Oregon State. This is prime time in CBS. Oregon State finally coming off their first win. They have benched Malik Murphy and found better success doing so. Washington State, meanwhile, has also been playing a lot better football as of late. So both teams are peaking at the right time for conference play. Who do you think wins this one?
Justin. Oregon State has still yet to beat an FBS team. They beat the brakes off of Lafayette, an FCS team. I got Washington State.
Hey, you know what? There's no time like the present to get it done. I think they're due. Oregon State won the Pac-12 championship on this hallowed ground last year, while they were in the middle of a losing streak entering the game. I think they get it done again. I think Oregon State shocks the Cougars and pulls off an upset here. I think their offense looks a little bit more smooth now. This is, again, like I said, this is in Corvallis, so it's going to be really tough environment there. Oregon State has, while coming up short, they still play better at home compared to on the road, especially because this is in prime time. So watch for the Bees to get it done. The intern, and I'll go ahead and give away the rest of it. Everyone else picked Washington State. So this is one of those ones where I kind of looked at this one and I was like, this is too close to the game for all of us to pick the same team. So I did have to go Oregon State as a result of that. We move on to the SEC. The battle of something has to give. Mississippi State and Arkansas. Both teams have been absurdly bad at closing out football games, especially in conference. Arkansas had chances to win multiple times earlier this year, fumbled in the red zone on multiple occasions to lose games. Mississippi State, on the other hand, they've had multiple chances to win as well. They had the lead in Tennessee late, crumbled down the stretch. Then last week was the most absurd, worst one. Against a Texas team that cannot score, they blew a 17-point lead and managed to lose to them. Again, against a team that cannot score or move the ball offensively. So both these teams have been just ridiculously bad at playing winning football and closing out games. Someone's going to have to win this thing. Something has to give. Who wins?
Fun fact, Oregon State and Arkansas have given up the same amount of points this season.
That's actually worse for Oregon State. I thought their defense was a little bit better than that. Oh,
and
man.
Air Force has given up one less point than them. So to tie it all in together, I'm going to go.
Man, we have covered. Man, we had to make up for that Western Michigan, Central Michigan game by covering some bad defenses here.
Yeah. Mississippi State, they've given up like the fourth most points in the SEC in conference play. But overall, they really haven't given up a ton of points. So I got to go Mississippi State. I think they got a little bit better defense. Offenses, it's going to be an ugly game.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Arkansas on this one. I think Bobby Petrino finally gets one. Obviously, hosting a lesser opponent at home finally is going to be big. Again, this is at home. I think that's a huge key here. Whatever crowd is left will be behind the Razorbacks in this one. And while Arkansas has constantly lost those games late, I think playing against a team that's equally bad in late game situations will help them out here. So I'm going to go with Arkansas. The intern agrees. He's got Arkansas as well. We move to the Fun Belt. Thursday night Fun Belt. This is going to be an awesome game to watch on Thursday. I believe it's on ESPN2. Marshall at Coastal Carolina on the teal turf. Fans in the stands will be getting free food and drinks during the game. Who do you think wins this one?
Fun fact, Coastal Carolina has scored 113 points in conference play. They have scored 133 overall points this season. So almost all of their points have come in conference play. That being said, Marshall has like double their points this season and ranked around the same on defense. I think the Thundering Herd, after losing all of their team this offseason, is going to win this one.
I like that pick. Marshall definitely has a very good team. Their quarterback, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, he is someone that is absolutely worth watching. This is obviously the first time they've been on linear TV with him playing, so this is going to be your first opportunity to see him. He's worth the price of admission alone. He's going to be very exciting. Marshall's defense has kind of been up and down a little bit. The thing with Coastal Carolina, you mentioned that stat there. Coastal Carolina was absolutely lost offensively for a while this year. I mean, they were bad. So bad. And something has happened recently. Like they've figured out which pieces are the best to run the offense really. And they've all of a sudden been very quietly playing good football. So with that being said, I'm going to go with the Chants here. I think they get it done at home. This team has been sneaky good, and I think we're about to learn just how good they are. We move to our last game, another Thursday night awesome game. ESPNU, Michael Vick versus Deshaun Jackson. In the link, Norfolk State at Delaware State. We have a lot of FCS games to choose from. This is a very hard week to figure it out, but I did remember at the beginning of the year, I had planned to have us pick this game all along. It's such an exciting showcase for the MEAC, a conference that could really stand to have more exposure. So I'm really excited to see this game. Who do you think wins it?
The Michael Vick experiment in Norfolk is not going well right now. They're 1-7. Delaware State, the Deshaun Jackson experience is going well and have one of the most prolific offenses in all of FCS. Going with Delaware State.
Yeah, I have to ride with the Hornets as well. I mean, they're one of the top rushing offenses in FCS. They have found so much success on the ground. And again, like you said, it's kind of funny because it felt like Michael Vick and Norfolk State had a lot more hype than Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State. But Deshaun Jackson's the one having a ton of success right now.
I think he inherited a slightly better program.
No, he did not. No, he did not. Delaware State has been struggling for a long, long time. So what he has done instantly is extremely impressive. He deserves a lot of praise for this. And I mean, again, this is a team towards the bottom of the MEAC. They already went on the road to beat North Carolina Central. They are now the favorite to win the MEAC and make the Celebration Bowl. That is such a huge accomplishment. This would be their first Celebration Bowl if they were to finish the job. Obviously, it starts Thursday night. I got Delaware State winning as well. very awesome to see this program play good football. It's been a long, long time waiting. The intern and everybody else is Delaware State. This is more of one that we want to pick because we want to just bring some attention to this game because it's on ESPNU Thursday night. But um, definitely a lot of other awesome games on at the FCS level this week. You know, you have Northern Arizona, Idaho Friday night on ESPN two, I believe. So another big Sky After Dark banger. Our much beloved Vaqueros continue their strong season.
We've
They
gotten a couple
travel with.
shout outs in the comments on the Vaqueros.
Oh yes, I love it. I love it. Yeah, the Vaqueros taking on Stephen F. Austin. That is going to be a huge game. Definitely will be one that I'm going to pull up on ESPN Plus on Saturday. So it's going to be a very fun FCS slate this weekend. And it was very hard to figure out. Oh, Harvard Dartmouth. Not forget that one as well. That one's a huge game in the Ivy League. So definitely a fun FCS slate as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Vaqueros' first ever season going super well, and Ivy League throwing us some good football.
Yeah, I mean these are the two new
Top
exciting
26
things.
matchup for the Vaqueros.
Yeah. Did you know that they were one spot out from the top 25 in the coaches poll? I mean, that is awesome for the
Yeah.
Vaqueros. Again, their only losses are, Lamar's kicker made the 57-yard field goal to beat them, and they
Southeast
were very,
Louisiana.
very fighting against Southeast Louisiana. Both Lamar and Southeastern are very good teams. Both teams that belong in the playoffs for sure. So no shame in those losses. I mean, the Vaqueros are going to be a force to be reckoned with here soon. This is only the beginning, and you're already this good, 6-2. I'm so excited to see this program continue to grow.
Yeah. I think Vaqueros fans, we will eventually make it down there and have some tacos.
Yeah, those 956 tacos. I mean, been making me hungry talking about them.
If there's anything that'll motivate us to go to a big matchup game, it's food.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We aren't the skinniest people in the world. So
No, I mean, for a long time there, we used to end our shows with a food segment where we would just talk about different food places.
yeah, we need to bring that back. And Dingus of the Week. For those of you who haven't been with us long, we used to have a segment called Dingus of the Week where we would just choose a dingus in sports.
I mean, let's be real. The biggest of the week this week is Brian Kelly.
Oh, 100%. Not only, so he got fired, and then the day after, he goes out to a very public place. And I sent Justin a graphic that I saw, and it said, "What a power move. I had more respect for this man after doing this than his entire coaching career."
That's the first time anyone said anything about having respect for him. I mean, it is like this whole week has just been literally like everybody dumping on him.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm surprised
like
nobody from UC has like jumped in on it.
I know I'm a little bit surprised too. Like, man, you talk about someone that was not liked by their players, their fellow coaches, or anything. That's Brian Kelly for you. I mean, the guy. I mean, let's be real. Like he was a salesman. That's pretty much what he was. He was good at being a salesman. Obviously, took over Notre Dame at a great time. Notre Dame
He
coming off.
did bring he brought UC out of the depths of the Big East. He brought Notre Dame back he put Notre Dame back on the map, but I mean, let's be honest, he's just not a great human being. And for that, we're going to bring back the segment of Dingus of the Week. And actually, he may be the Dingus of the season. But on that note, we are doing currently what's called a Midwestern goodbye, where we just say goodbye and then we start talking again. In order to stop doing that, we're just going to end it. Follow us at Updog Sports Talk everywhere on social media. I will eventually get our old episodes put on wherever you get your podcasts. So you can listen to our old episodes at some point coming up in the near future. And then we have a Substack. We just put our credentialed game Dayton versus Presbyterian on there. So yeah, tell a friend that we exist. We are trying to get our name out there. We are getting close to 400 subs on YouTube. And we actually just hit 5 years this month, Justin.
Wow.
We've been doing
I
this for
cannot believe that.
whole years.
5 years. That is entertaining. I mean, honestly, for the first 2 years, we had no clue what we were doing.
I would
This
say
is
that
just
for the first 3 years, we had no idea. We
yeah.
just put a microphone in front of our faces. Then we started listening to advice and kind of being sponges, taking it all in. And this is the result of that. So shout out to everybody who's been with us along the way. Shout out to everybody who's had advice. Shout out to everybody who just likes our social medias. We will catch you guys next week. Thank you all for your support. We love you guys and see you later.